William Morrow and HarperAudio present Dr. No, a James Bond novel by Ian Fleming, performed by John Colshaw. Chapter 1. Hear You Loud and Clear. Punctually at 6 o'clock, the sun set with the last yellow flash behind the blue mountains. A wave of violet shadow poured down Richmond Road, and the crickets and tree frogs in the fine gardens began to zing and tinkle. Apart from the background noise of the insects, the wide empty street was quiet. The wealthy owners of the big withdrawn houses, the bank managers, company directors and top civil servants, had been home since 5 o'clock, and they would be discussing the day with their wives or taking a shower and changing their clothes. In half an hour the street would come to life again, with the cocktail traffic. But now, this very superior half-mile of Rich Road, as it was known to the tradesmen of Kingston, held nothing but the suspense of an empty stage, and the heavy perfume of night-scented jasmine. Richmond Road is the best road in all Jamaica. It is Jamaica's Park Avenue, its Kensington Palace Gardens, its Avenue Diana. The best people live in its big old-fashioned houses, each in an acre or two of beautiful lawn, set too trimly with the finest trees and flowers from the botanical gardens at Hope. The long straight road is cool and quiet, and withdrawn from the hot, vulgar sprawl of Kingston where its residents earn their money, and, on the other side of the T intersection at its top, lie the grounds of King's House, where the Governor and Commander-in-Chief of Jamaica lives with his family. In Jamaica, no road could have a finer ending. On the eastern corner of the top intersection stands number 1 Richmond Road, a substantial 2-story house with broad white-painted verandas running round both floors. From the road, a gravel path leads up to the pillared entrance, through wide lawns marked out with tennis courts, on which this evening, as on all evenings, the sprinklers are at work. This mansion is the social mecca of Kingston. It is Queen's Club, which, for 50 years, has boasted the power and frequency of its blackballs. Such stubborn retreats will not long survive in modern Jamaica. One day, Queen's Club will have its windows smashed, and perhaps be burnt to the ground. But, for the time being, it is a useful place to find in a subtropical island, well-run, well-staffed, and with the finest cuisine and cellar in the Caribbean. At that time of day, on most evenings of the year, you would find the same 4 motor cars standing in the road outside the club. They were the cars belonging to the high bridge game that assembled punctually at 5 and played until around midnight. You could almost set your watch by these cars. They belonged, reading from the order in which they now stood against the curb, to the brigadier in command of the Caribbean Defence Force, to Kingston's leading criminal lawyer, and to the mathematics professor from Kingston University. At the tail of the line stood the black Sunbeam Alpine of Commander John Strangway, RN retired, Regional Control Officer for the Caribbean, or, less discreetly, the local representative of the British Secret Service. Just before 6:15, the silence of Richmond Road was softly broken. 3 blind beggars came round the corner of the intersection and moved slowly down the pavement towards the 4 cars. They were Chigros, Chinese Negroes, bulky men, but bowed as they shuffled along, tapping at the curb with their white sticks. They walked in file. The first man, who wore blue glasses and could presumably see better than the others, walked in front, holding a tin cup against the crook of the stick in his left hand. The right hand of the second man rested on his shoulder, and the right hand of the third on the shoulder of the second. The eyes of the second and third men were shut. The 3 men were dressed in rags and wore dirty jipper-japper baseball caps with long peaks. They said nothing, and no noise came from them, except the soft tapping of their sticks as they came slowly down the shadowed pavement towards the group of cars. The 3 blind men would not have been incongruous in Kingston, where there are many diseased people on the streets. But, in this
Sample complete. Ready to continue?